Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth daily coverage of your Green Bay Packers. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We have new episodes dropping every day, Monday through Friday. Just after the NFL draft ended, the Packers announced the signing of Isaiah Simmons, who was a free agent. He was originally the 8th overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft by the Arizona Cardinals, spent the last 2 seasons with the New York Giants. And I guess the big question is, what kind of an impact can we expect from Isaiah Simmons in green and gold this season? And there's no doubt why Brian Gutekunst was interested in Isaiah Simmons. He is a superb athlete, 6'4", 238 pounds at the combine before his draft in 2020, ran a 4.39. So he has great speed, great athleticism, good size for a guy who is a safety slash linebacker. But he kind of has had his issues so far in his 5 seasons in the NFL. He predominantly played linebacker while with the Cardinals, then moved over predominantly to safety with the Giants, but he seems to be a guy who is a jack of all trades, but a master of none, a tweener, if you will, a little bit too big for safety, a little bit too small for linebacker, and maybe not as instinctive as you like. Now, that doesn't mean he hasn't had an impact when he played. He had 4 interceptions in 3 seasons with the Cardinals, one of them a pick 6. And with the Giants, while he only started 5 games in the 2 seasons he played there, he had only 1 interception, returned that one 54 yards for a touchdown. The Giants opted not to re-sign him after last year, and there wasn't exactly a huge market when he hit free agency for Simmons. And he's just sort of a man without a position right now. And that creates a problem. He's somebody who can help and give depth to slot corner, linebacker, or safety. He's played all of those positions, but he's not really good enough to start at any of those positions. And he has struggled in coverage. That is one thing. According to ProFootballReference.com, over his 5 years in the NFL, opposing quarterbacks have completed 74% of their passes when throwing to receivers covered by Simmons, and they have a quarterback rating of 100.9. Now, Simmons does have the ability to blitz the quarterback. We talked about his size and his speed. He has 25 pressures and 8.5 sacks in his NFL career, including a career high 4 sacks in 2022, which was his first year as a starter. So, where is he going to fit in Green Bay? Well, one area that he definitely excelled in with the Giants was special teams. He played 370 snaps over the last 2 years with the Giants on special teams. And you got to figure Rich Bisaccia, the Packers special teams coordinator, is going to have him on coverage teams, return teams, and some of the other special teams units. And to me, his chief competition to earn a roster spot on the Packers this year are guys like Zane Anderson and Christian Welch. Guys who, yes, they have a position on defense. Anderson is technically a center. Welch is technically a linebacker, but 95% of their action is going to be seen on special teams unless a couple of guys ahead of them on the depth chart get injured. Now, is it possible that Jeff Hafley dials up some blitz packages where whether he's at safety or in the slot, we've seen slot corners and safeties blitz the quarterback under Hafley? Yeah, that's possible. And you can utilize Simmons' skills there. But if you're thinking, okay, we just signed a top 10 draft pick, he's going to be a real significant difference maker for the Packers this year, that's really not likely to happen on defense. Yes, he can contribute, but it's going to be as a role player, most likely, rather than a starter. Here is a guy who's been in the NFL already for 5 years, and he has not established himself as a star player. So I'm not saying he's devoid of talent. I am not saying he can't contribute. But what I am saying is don't expect this to be this earth-shattering move that nets the Packers an all-pro defensive player. He can be useful. He can even save you a roster spot or two because he can back up at multiple positions, but he is not going to be that outstanding star player that maybe he was expected to develop into when he was a top 10 selection in the 2020 draft. Now, look, I'd love for him to prove me wrong, to go out on the football field this year and just ball out and become a star. But more realistically, he's going to have a fight on his hands to make this roster. And then he'll have to find different roles, whether it's on special teams or on specialty packages on defense, to contribute. And he could make a difference that way, but don't expect miracles, I guess, is the bottom line. Don't forget to check out our website at thepackerspost.com, where we post new articles every day, Monday through Saturday. I'm Gil Martin. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of the Daily Packers Post. Hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Have a great day, everybody. And of course, go Pack Go.